reflect what I am. Losing women.
Hello, hello. It's Friday night. Oh my. Oh, my Siamese twin. Yes. What a subject for us tonight. Mere kisses. Hi. What's going on? Welcome to your Friday night. Sugar kisses. Lips like sugar. I love the song. Lips like sugar from Echo and the Bunny Man. Let's see if I get banned by YouTube for playing music and stuff. I may as well. Because it's the end of this place, y'all. We've got Halo Grid now. And some of you all have been learning about how wonderful it is to have Mercury retrograde and proof that some of us are the right kind of crazy when we get together and just get nice and decide to be happy, even if it's kind of crappy. So, what's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, Duchess Bites, what's up, Michelle? Hi, love you girls. It's good to have you. Love, 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 love. Love, all that. All that. I'll take these off for a little while. And probably don't need these. These are my special blue blockers that I wear to help me from staring at the screens too long. So, I take off my super secret spyware. How's everybody this evening? I hope you're doing great. I've got some stones here. Well, they're not all really stones. I've got 3 different items, I should say. I'll get you a closer look too. We're going to do a little bit of astrology chat, but I want to show you these first before we do anything, because one of these might have jumped off at you, and you're really going to know in a minute. See that? Do you see what's in my hands? Okay, so that right there is a seashell. And we also have a piece of petrified wood here. And a nice piece of citrine. Okay. I'm glad to hear you're good, Michelle. And hey, what's up? Oh, that was actually Duchess Fight saying she's good. What's up, Angelique? It's good to see you, hon. It's good to have you all here, and anybody else who joined, thanks for being here. Feel free to be shy, but if you like, we write back. So if you write messages, it gives me a chance to connect positive energy to you too. And you hear a little squeaking and squawking. I think my little girl might have just gotten up from her nap. I might have to just go grab her off of the tripod in a second. She's shuffling. So, and I'm going to be shuffling here in a little bit for you too. So I just wanted you to see first what we're working with tonight, because tonight we've got the citrine. I love my babies. We're going to turn off that ringer too. Hey, why don't I turn off this ringer? Because we be live. I don't need to hear that. Alright, so piece of citrine, piece of petrified wood, and a really nice seashell. So these are going to be the 3 different items that I actually do the shuffles with. And first we're going to talk about some other things. We're just going to be getting some energy on our cards and helping us focus, because we're going to be doing a reading with some of these different decks. Had a little energy, so we're going to go with that. And what we're going to be doing is pulling cards from the Shadowscapes deck, from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and also getting an oracle from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. So there'll be 3 cards there, and most likely some clarifiers for each one with La Vera Sibila. And I'm seriously gonna grab this little girl. I don't know if you hear this shuffle, shuffle, shuffle going on. I'm gonna grab her before she jumps out of her hammock. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. What? She's up from her nap. What can I do? Must be crazy about this little thing. Darling, I'm crazy about you. So, sorry about that, but this thing woke up and she started tripping. So, right along now, darling. It's kind of like they run the show. All right. So, make sure one of these for you. And we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to be shuffling a little bit while I'm here with you, getting a little bit of clear energy on this. And while we're going through some of the Astro chat, and then when I come back, we'll flip some cards. So how about that? Yeah, we're going to go, oops. We'll go here for now. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring up ahead of time while I'm doing this? I thought I would ask. I've had a few of you in private chats, and some of the messages that have been coming up have been really interesting that I've been hearing from you on a feedback level. So I just want to open it up just in case, if you have anything that you want to bring up, you're welcome to do that right now. And if not, just keep it in your mind because it's also what's going into the cards. And just know it's all being vaporwaved with a cool soundtrack to boot and a little bit of hyper reality on what I don't think astrology actually is. So let's go ahead and just pop that thing open and we'll talk a little bit about that while we're getting our cards ready for this reading. I wanted to talk moon. We've been talking. Oh, you had a dream last night that you're an avatar, Duchess Bites. I love that. Truthfully, that is very appropriate to what's going on if you ask for my idea on what this energy actually is that we're looking at here too. You are actually an avatar. We are actually in a place right now, and I have a hard time saying time, a hard time, and it's time. No, we're in a new way to calculate things, like a particle mass. And I'm glad that you know that, and that you felt that, and that you can be honest with yourself about that, Duchess Bites. This particle mass that's been going on right now, we can actually quantify things that if it was a time that didn't exist, whereas an intelligence, if we want to call the race, how much love and action we can be. And maybe that's what human never was. Because human's kind of like a grab on color, grab on names, and bad excuse for doing things from people that sometimes just default to that, where it's like, well, I'm human, instead of, well, I could be better about this and taking the appropriate steps, right? So how about we scratch words like that? And I like Avatar where you're going with this, because what's really happening, in my opinion, as the guy that woke up from the dead and that can actually look at this with you from the 11th house placement at 20 degrees Pluto, the guy that died, speaking as Mercury, because that's my Mercury placement, and saying to you that here, now that we have the technology, and it's like, what's a tektite again? Did maybe that alien thing that smashed create all of this stuff, and technically most of us are zooming in from the future and landing and realizing, well, we'd already landed, and we're kind of descending from something where we had already ascended, and it's like us squishing ourselves open. It's like, where are we? It's like, oh, maybe I'm in this one form, and you're kind of being jacked and compressed. Okay? Do you know what happens when you get cards and you jack it off? E.T. jumps out. It's like that. And so you're like the page jumping out of the form. And so now we can actually calculate these things different, and it's awesome because dreams like that are appropriate. These were being sent to you. You were in the 12-strand DNA activation halo, and these are things that I do every single night where we're calling this in. And so if you're having those dreams, it's appropriate. These are your particles landing in you, where you're actually going to feel more of that. You'll be able to embody and demonstrate more of that as the light that you're actually being. So we're filling archetypes. We're literally on your names. We have stories that have been told to us where you might feel like it's your past life or hear things like that. And really, it's just like transparencies that didn't quite land. Maybe those time frames didn't quite land. Maybe it was part of your energy compressing into a distillate that you are of the highest form that could possibly integrate all of that energy. And hence, you're born avatar, as you know. So, hallelujah, sister. I love that, and thank you for sharing that testimony, because I think that that's actually apt for everything going on right now, and a thing that wasn't timed. It's like the thing that isn't Texas and the instruments looking at it and saying, me? Yeah, time me up. This is it. Baby wants up. Alright, so have a little companion here. Want it up while we're talking about this. And it's important because moon placement, moon landing, wanted to talk about where we open this up in the juncture where certain things happen or don't. Because we're getting selective, you know? We've got this broken ephemeris that some people cling to, and they say, this is where we're landing every day, and it's like that moon that we didn't land on. So what are the things that we actually did land on by our choice that might be not quite looking at it? What if you woke up and it's like you're in front of the wobbly ass mirrors that might have been slipped in front of you, where some of these beings are plasma that something's stretched into and it's being taken out by these magnets, you know? Mercury dressed as Pluto here saying, the sound of that is the liftoff, darling. So let's talk about that moon real quick, because this is where it gets juicy, honey. Juicy, juicy. And I hope you have the idea in that almost palpable way where you could taste it or sense it. And you know that it's here with you. Because sometimes you have energy coming to you like that. And you wonder, it's like, did I feel that right? Well, right now, where Mercury is here, it's actually happening. Why? It's so close to the sun. It's like an illumination on what we did with all that metal particle stuff that some people couldn't even see because it's so minute, and a lot of it's in your body, and it's like the magnets pulling us all together, where we can open up in the one mansion where the man's eye that was on it and where the Wi-Fi might have been checking it out created a biosphere. And we're all moved in there. So just remember that Borisov C2019Q4 is a landing pattern that I actually gave to Dartball, some friends, and we edited this black fractal. That's like bibbity boop. Where do we put everything in the particle mixer? So some of these things are just coming right to you for being on the right IP addresses with me, and your biometrics and your phone matching mine, proving that we're safe in the same home. Okay? At least at 0 point. So hallelujah. Love you, love you, love you. All right. Safe homing. That's why we're selective about which moon landings we choose on a degree level. So yesterday, ye stars, were talking about that woman that doesn't get in prison, that was left alone in bed and stuck in a high tower where people were pulling her through as the lily upside down to pull her through a pouch and stuff in a sound and charge her for watching herself as entertainment, where she got a payoff over there to be pillaged out of her own form. This is what's been going on, and what the holly bushing has been all about, and I've been breaking it down on an existential level, and that shit didn't happen. So what did we shout out? 24 degrees, Pisces on the morning, where people heard everything, and some people, you're going to find out, are going to be very, very distraught when they realize, and I hear it could be as soon as tomorrow morning, that everything has been recorded and that everybody's eyes have been like turned around, and it's like the all-seeing eye waking up at everyone and just being like, hey, some of these things got Dead Sea Scrolled and like released into this void. See 2019 Q4, it's like a whole they're even staring at it. They're like, epic Fortnite, and they're just like staring at it. It's like the eye that just jumps in. It's like how they led themselves. And just put a link on PewDiePie, and I hear everybody just jumps right in because that's what they wanted. It's a Nazi germination wheel that's happening. And so a lot of people are going to freak out over the next little while because they're going to hear about this turning in and what happened with the sound, where some of us, when it turned around, all we were doing was kind of like praying together and like having a psychic moment, like, did we hear that right? And like just sending a big I love you and can it be safe at home? And it's like we all move into that light. That's where it all went. It was something really easy like that. And the rest of them were looking at something else, and whatever they were looking at, it's like what they like self-judge for, and it's like parcel packed into the hell that is now neatly stacked, and it's a black fractal that eats itself. It's great. So 24 degrees Pisces, what did that all have to do with where we landed? Because some of us didn't land with them. It's like, I know I didn't land with you, fool. With that tomfoolery trying to lock me up in the closet, because look at this, where this thing is, where they want you to wake up. If we were on their broken ephemeris, which I even proved where the hole was in the ephemeris, we would have woken up at a spring festival where the participants are in a state of ecstatic ecstasy after having been lurked on, because 23 is someone lurking in a dark wood waiting for a passerby to snatch. You remember that falling dream I was telling you about, where they try to pull you into it and then you wake up in their false reality? Don't think so. I've got an insurance clause for that. And a very special force majeure that has had an appendix added to it to wrap up the one world order as a strong inception, where we choose a particle mass and landing and how we share energy. So whatever your dream is, my love, just know you didn't wake up in their stupid Beltane idea where they belted you in for your energy and, stuffed you on somebody's maypole that maybe you didn't choose, and some weird dream or fantasy and things that some of us didn't even want to happen. So it's like, throw that shit in the fuck it bucket. See, 2019 Q4 identified stakes of hell, anti-gravity, and where we sewed ourselves so well that passerby just chases itself away. And some of us don't worry because we talked about the pen umbrella and the eclipse, and that special eclipse that I actually wrote with a pen, and what I did with that eclipse and some very special friends of mine when we went for a walk together. It was a hike in the woods, and we actually encountered a scared little calf, a little cow. It was by itself that couldn't tell what was happening because it was like a total eclipse during the day, and it scared the fuck out of all these animals. And, as far as I'm concerned, we rewrote this. So, Mari, hi, darling. Ladybug, yes, it's good to see you, girls. So right now, what did we actually decide? Well, when I opened this up and where I decided to mark this one for us to re-articulate what it is our landing pattern is, where we're sending our energy as a collection here, because I don't know about any of those other collections. I have nothing to do with those. I've got my own collection going on here for this biosphere that I spent a lot of money on to just prove what's been going on. Trying to figure out what they did with it and how it wound up like, hi, I'm in the $40 trillion DARPA house now. It's like amazing. So we threw our ideas into something like that instead, where it would protect us all in an insurance wrap, and what I've been doing with my work. And so thank you, darling. Hi. Where we put a stamp on that one here is kind of in some ass-kicking places, and what I fully approve of, because of that Chiron placement there at 1 degree Aries is a real hootenanny. If you've ever met anybody that's had a birthday on like 1 degree Aries, it's absolutely it's fascinating, because this is somebody that's got real tenacity, and that's like how you get rammed. And so that is where Chiron actually is right now with a retrograde. It's like a boomerang effect, like going up to Venus up there in the 10th house, and it's like, all right, however she was being recognized was not freaking fair. She gets to make her own wish. That's why this is in the house of 2 right now, where it's about possessions and ownership and what even gets to happen. And so that is the one thing to know about, and the degree on that is a man repairing and extending a stone wall in the spring. So what if we didn't fall backwards or into any bullshit, but we were like testing weather, because some of us actually like it cooler and we like things like sweaters, and I know a lot of y'all like to wear your thug boots and like whatever is going on, hair color changes and having snow and stuff. What if that's what we were springing into and we were testing weather, which is what I've been doing in my biosphere. Nobody fell for that shit. And this is how that expensive ass wall got built, okay? That's what Chiron is here to prove, number 1. So pick your best weather. I know for a lot of us, hey, we like certain fashion, right? What if you could just like have an idea and that's okay? I encourage you to think like that. And I will just show you. My daughter has her own sense of fashion, and today it had to be the purple sweater. So sometimes she chooses. Now, what else I like about this, and what I really wanted to pay attention to, is where we let dumb ideas just go and be dumb, right? Because the thing about dumb is it like knows about STFU, right? And the thing about stupid and anything that would stoop for a false idea, a bad ID, anything that would hurt another being, has a special junket that it can land in. And it's fun because we're actually talking about these 2 degrees here. We've got 1 to 3. 1 here for Chiron with the healing and like where the swift kick goes to lock the door. And 3 for where the moon is and what's actually happening here. Where our emotions are as a collection about, hey, what is our home together? Would we say that that's a possession? What if we were all just decided, hey, let's just all get possessed in this one place where water is safe to drink, because that's what the pH of 7 actually is and what the biosphere actually is about. It's about the safe induction where we can be electric kinetic beings and actually land in these bodies and not suffer or have neural attacks and things that are actually going to drop the ones in the false ascension very, very expediently, because now we've actually quantized the resonance, and some people can't actually handle having a brain in there straight and like what happens with Kundalini resonance. It's like being electrocuted. So we've got 3 really fiery degrees going on right now for healing. And what actually gets to happen and what we choose to ingest and plant in this place while we're in a Mercury retrograde where all the particles now and the magnets, we know where they are. We know how to calculate them on IP addresses and even help you when you're swiping things in nicely and saying nice things to each other. It's like the expensive wall going over your head where it's like this magnet from your body follows your intention and it shuts the motherfuckers out. Okay, so I encourage you to know that that's like a baby model. It's like, thank you for advanced home security. And if you need that, just know that that's enough and that works like that. We're literally learning to home ourselves like this. And so fiery ass degrees on knowing what smart things are, what I did with some Raspberry Pi homemade computers, a couple of smartphones, and about $3,000 worth of computer technology here that actually there's a whole lot more there, but we had to figure things out and I did it on a shoestring. So it's amazing what we can do when we apply this together and grow it as a seed and know that that's what this moon is all about. It's about us closing these degrees with a fiery punch. And so old stone steps descending into darkness is like really like the one little thing that gets in between 1 to 3 here. And here's where our moon went. Our moon, where our eye is and what we're focusing on, where we're going to get all of our answers for whatever we need and what I hope you picked, whether it was our citrine, a piece of petrified wood, or this nice little shell here, because here's what Aries 3 is all about. And this is where our moon is being opened for us to rise. The outer casing of the Great Pyramid being removed. Ooh, so the one eye opens up and we let in the light. Or maybe it was LED because I got a good light here. And The outer casing of the Great Pyramid being removed, candor, stark naked honesty, getting rid of all false coverings, going for what counts. You are sharply intent upon getting at the truth and staying on the truth. Self-disclosure. Let's add self-responsibility onto that one too. I'll take a big heaping dose of that, right? An extraordinary aptitude for reality. You are the world's most direct person. Willing to be seen and known unequivocally. The jackhammer treatment. Blunt, brutal, and straightforward. Devoid of charm or grace, but right on the mark. Gutsy and truly incorrigible. And then what happens immediately after that is a cup overflowing with clear water. We are at a time right now that all it means is that we are able to quantify what amounts to data of different kinds being compressed into packs. And so since AI and advanced technological things proved what some rocks and bodies did to wake up, we actually can stack all of this data, and that is what we are doing right now. And actively every night when I get ready to go to bed and I'm doing my 2 to 3 hours of meditation, no matter what time it is, I'm like always doing this. I'm actually calling this in with you all. So just know, special prayers being answered here. And I've got a smudge going. So tonight, just like all other times, my love is with you. And know that if you have people being erratic, I'm just hearing for some of you all too, especially when more people realize it's like the end of the world or whatever. They might be reaching out weird. I've had some of that happening with me too, where it's like people that really didn't make themselves anything in my life except for like the checkouts, you know? It's like the checkout and then they're there or whatever. Or the squawkers want to come back. And that happens sometimes with Mercury retrograde. So just know sometimes that happens. And sometimes there's a reason for that. Sometimes we can get a certain level of information that will help us deal with things like somatic stress, where you might need a somatic release because of a psychological situation that caused tension in your body. And sometimes the direct correlation to pain. I've had people that talk to me that are dealing with things like MS, fibromyalgia, TMJ, weird situations where a lot of it is like restrictions, constrictions on the body and what happens when we're traumatized. And you can be traumatized just by dealing with people. It doesn't have to be physical abuse. It can be emotional, and sometimes people holding out and what happens when that energy gets strung along that way and how diseases form. And now we can particle materialize different blocks of what that energy is thanks to blockchain technology and what it looks like on a 2D time scale now that didn't exist before and where light codes can fill in. So just know people might be showing up with different things. Maybe they have ulterior motives, but you are also being calculated, resonated. That's what time is. What Texas Instruments actually is. It's advanced bioweaponry that works with the solar fire software here, where we can figure out materially where light codes are better shared. And as a whole, inside one biosphere, we might not have to get too technical later. It'd be good for us to have all the data because we can just send the light in floods and everybody's in the right place and nothing is actually being deviated or taken someplace where it shouldn't go. So just know, no matter what your situation is, it's being calculated and nothing can ever be taken from us from this vantage point. We can only be healed. So, I'm going to get us 3 cards here from each of these decks. I've been shuffling them to see what you need to know. And go ahead and get you another view here too. Let's take a tongue. Yes! We're excited about those cards, Duchess Bites. And I got my little girl here too. So she might just stay here. She's not driving me nuts. Check on that, Mari. Okay. And to anyone new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. If you like the messages, please subscribe and hit me up with a thumbs up if you do. I really appreciate that. It makes a difference to me. If you're interested in your own reading, I've got my information below. What's up, Zoe Stroud? Good to see you, darling. We've got a lot of people with birthdays right now. Zoe just had one, and I don't know if Kai's here right now, but a couple of my other girls are about to have birthdays too. Got a bunch of you all this month. Come back to that one. I was about to lay those down, but my guide said just leave those there. We'll come back to those. Woo. So I'm hearing for a lot of people, this is like weird feelings of like being repelled. They're telling me a little bit of it is kind of like a punishment thing. So I don't know if some of you all are feeling like punishing somebody. It's possible. I mean, especially if you've been hurt, but also especially since all of this stuff has been going on in the sign of Scorpio. It's like Scorpio might be known for being a little bit more like that, like wanting to punish people. And I'm hearing, especially if there are attachments to the past that were like negative or karmic, like for some of y'all, it's like, how do I freaking punish this situation? And sometimes like having that thrown at you too. And yes, she hates her ex-fiance. He sounds kind of like a major Shidoshi. So I'm so sorry, Zoe. I know he's been like lurking around too much. Just ready to cut that thing loose. What do my babies need to know about? Some people might be lurking around trying to come back for different reasons, and just know whatever it is, if you have to deal with them, and you don't, but if you do deal with them just for a moment or whatever, make sure you know that you are in your power and that you're not just doing it because they're driving the situation, especially if you have people that are used to like gas holing you, you know, the gas holes, the narcissist that shows up and just, they'll make it about something else just to get under your skin so that you'll engage with them. So, Aries Assy, she says, trying to heal. Yes, my darling, that's what this is all about. We're here to heal. Let's see what we need to know about here. Get a little bit more shuffle on these, and then I think we'll be good. Used to flipping my decks. This deck doesn't really read reverse. I guess it does. I mean, you can read anything reversed. I kind of just go with, I mean, there's a way to read tarot cards, but I'm not haunted. A lot of people are really haunted because they want to do like that and don't leave room for hearing from spirit. And so, you know, I can read cards directly on card messages and compare like that, but it's amazing different things that you hear from guides if you're actually in the spiritual conversation. Thank you for the flower, Mari. And Zoe, I love you. Thank you for saying that, sweetheart. And you too, Duchess Bites. I'm so happy to hear that you feel safe being here with me. It really means a lot to me. And just know that I'm always praying. It's like I'm somebody that like lives in a prayer. My life is literally a prayer. It's like I've had to pray my way out of what I've been through after, you know, being butchered and killed and how they tried to assassinate me in Denver. I gotta get a video up here so I can show you guys how they kicked my door open and like raided me and have been making up lies about what I've been doing here while I've just been proving what this electromagnetic halo is and how we can create biosustainable energy by being the right kind of psychic loving people and being artist about it. And so we're here in prayer, and I'm happy you know that I love you and that you're always safe here. So let's take a look at these here. Oh, yes. It was for Zoe. I can still thank you for sharing it, Mari. I had a feeling it was for her, but that's like it being for me too. It's just, I'm grateful that you show it being a gift. And yeah, that is great. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that happened. I'll share more about that sometime. I don't want to inject negative vibes, just letting y'all know that I'm a man that prays. I'm a man that's always praying, and I always hear my guides, and I hear your guides too when you're here, and sometimes there's so many of them that I have to, my biggest challenge is taking what I can say direct. Some things I can say things direct. I could say everything direct if I wanted to, but I have this thing about energetic confidentiality where sometimes you get a hit that's not to be shared here. And so some things it's like, we got to go one-on-one for that. And I distill it. I distill the message and share what I can that's safely shared. You know? All right, settle down, baby. Settle down. Driving me crazy there. She's like doing this. It's like shaking me and stuff. She's a little bit nervous. All right, so we've got these three here. We've got our calcite, or I'm sorry, our citrine. I keep calling it calcite. Our citrine, our petrified wood, and our seashell. I'm going to start with this one here. If any of you all chose the yellow stone, the citrine, that's a good look at it right there. I hear this might be good for some of y'all too if you're looking for a little boost to your luck or a little extra money in your pocket. Just know that it got sent to you this way. And that's how we do it. Sorry, I'm still here. Just lost my phone. I couldn't comment. Hey, no problem, Angelique. It's good to have you here. I hope you can hear everything. Okay, so we're going to start with these for our citrine. The first card is with our Shadowscapes deck, and oh my goodness, Queen of Cups. All right, so I'm hearing if you're like here in this room, this is most likely you, actually. That you're going to know that this is you if you're the one that picked this. And are definitely a most benevolent, loving queen. That's the case. Because she is a lover. Look at that blue dress. There's something about that blue dress. It's like feathers in her hair. She's in a balanced state of herself here. How she's witnessing and what she's doing there. It's like she's dancing above a hole that's like going into the water, but it's like she's like protected in like this bubble, you see? And then there's these dancing tortoises right there. So beautiful. For others too, I mean, you know, this could be different people. Anytime we get people cards, like these courts, it could be different ways that this energy shows up, especially being at the queen level for me. Sometimes you'll see different reflections of this because this queen especially, she's had to go through so much just to be able to hold her cup upright. And here, she's actually inside of it. It's like, this is the thing about this deck. The art on it is amazing. And you don't see her holding a cup, do you? You see her, like, inside of what she made. And where she otherwise wouldn't have had a place to lay her foot like that. See, and there's a turtle supporting her. It's like, but is she standing on the turtle? I don't know. It's like the dream and the earth or whatever this thing is, wherever she is, come together to meet her. And so she has been everything to be this woman, is the thing, emotionally, and to show upright like that. And so sometimes she'll see other reflections of other people, and when this card can show up, it might not just be you. You might see other people that test you into how you became that. Beautiful card, yes. Oh, thank you for all of that, you guys. Thanks for being supportive with each other. It's really awesome. I love it. So Queen of Cups, this could also be speaking to people that might have water in their charts. Sun, moon, rising, potentially one of the water tribes, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, especially if this is you, watch out, because I'm hearing that it's like, you might look at this and realize that it's reminding you of somebody that might have stepped on you or stepped on your back and humiliated you emotionally in some kind of way to get where they are. And there might be something about this picture that reminds you of who would have discounted you like that, you crystal child, to prop themselves up on you. You know, it's not such kind gardening. So I really love this Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. I just received this one here recently. Thanks to those of you that have supported my channel too. I was able to receive some new decks. It was awesome. This one here, Stacey DeMarco deck, it's kind of like it's almost like a little bit of advice for me. And if we like it a lot, I'll pull out the book and read from it. But here we go. The Unexpected, number 43. Thank you, Duchess Bites. Really appreciate that. I really love having you all here and that we can actually be close like that too. People prop off at you all the time, huh? Well, this is a time too where they might be even more tested for that, especially if we're seeing this blue moon, the unexpected. You know, we got a full moon coming up here too. This full moon is going to be really, I think it's going to be beautiful for some of you. You know, some of you might be going through a really loving time, you know, different demonstrations of what intimacy actually is, especially if it's like something that it's like what people didn't understand about you. And I keep hearing the word discounted. It's like whoever discounted you and what it means to just like be left out. What happens once in a blue moon? We double down on a special sentiment during those moons and expect the unexpected. Really nice if you have somebody to enjoy those things with. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like your soul sister, you know? It's like soul sister, different mister, or hearing different things for some of you. But I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like really getting in touch with what it is that helped you almost like levitate yourself out of a bad situation. Because for some of you all, it's like everything was being stepped on, your entire emotions. And now it's like finding your center of gravity somehow. And for some of you, it might be a very special luck stroke that happens. So this unexpected is for real. I've seen this card show up sometimes when people just like have a sudden meet and it's like a kinetic attraction. And so for some of you all, it's like, it might be the last thing on your mind if you've been single and then, you know, you meet somebody, it's like kind of an electric shock and it can be really nice. Yes, expect the unexpected. That's right, Mari. And for other people, it's like, I'm getting some pretty decent vibes here for relationships. But I do want to see what's showing up with our Tarot of Sexual Magic, because we actually have a card here for that. And oh, these can be fun. So let's get ready for it. Oh, yay. Oh, wow. So, number 12. Yeah. This one has naked people on it, so I'll be old enough to look at things. Whatever. If you're here, know it's big people talking. Being nice about it. No creepers, but that looks a little, maybe like he's creeping. Somebody's been taking their time here. Just like the hanged man. Should I say the hanged person, the hanged woman here, as it were. She's a little bound there, but this kind of looks like a little kinky game or something for somebody. It's kind of like, oh, well, maybe desperado. For others, though, I'm hearing something else. It's like this unexpected note. Make sure if you're like really open that you might have people looking in. Okay, is what I'm hearing for, yeah, very sexy card. Oh, thank you about the enthusiasm. Yeah. I appreciate that, Duchess Plants. Yes, I'm an enthusiast. We are seeing somebody creeping. in some cases. And so this does say unexpected. And I'm hearing like, do you have a neighbor or somebody around that might be interested? Because for some of you all, it's like they've been watching you grow, is what I'm hearing. And it might have been moving really slowly for some of you all, especially if it's like, I'm hearing, I just want to lay on your shoulder. It's like, see, that's what's even happening here. And so it's like, you might hear something from somebody that didn't know how to get it together, because that's what this 12 is here. Sometimes I've seen this one where it's like somebody that's just like hung up on the clock, like looking at their watch and trying to figure out what to do about a situation, especially if they've been kind of interested in this other person and wanting to feast on them, is what I'm hearing. But he's like got his hand in her hair. She's laying there and it's almost like she doesn't see him, or she's tuning him out. And if you look at that picture, it's like, all right, so she's all up here and he's like running his hand through her hair, right? So it's like trying to get into her head a little bit too. So just know some of you might have an intentional person. It doesn't have to be creepy, but hey, this is potentially going out to a broad number of people, so you kind of have to know your situation. I'm hearing a few cautionary notes just about, make sure your surroundings are always secure and stuff, because you might just be in a very open place right now where people want and don't know how to approach, and so it could happen unexpectedly. And I'm hearing it won't really be weird if you find out somebody's had feelings growing for you, if this is somebody that although there are, cautionary notes for some people. You might have somebody that's like watching, like onlookers from other places that just don't know. And who the heck could blame them if you're like that, Because for some of you here, that's you right there. You just need to know that you're that Queen of Cups. So, advice, be your art, my love. Follow what's coming through your heart. Know that Venus right now has been communicating very clearly her wants and wishes, and these are the things that you've had in your private halo, and what the benefit of having that Mercury magnet moving things out of the way for us actually is right now. I'm going to pull us a few Sibilas, get a little bit more information on these 3 cards here. What my babies need to know about the situation, because this is a little funny looking. What we need to know. I'll do it right there. All right, so whatever it is, lots of attention on it. La Superbia. So I'm hearing, no matter what they thought they were seeing, notice the protective wall and that the eye on all, showing you what happens. Or you can be beautiful and observed and safe at the same time. Sometimes people take shots at this bird, but this bird is safe, and I'm hearing you all need to know it's safe. And that's a number 2. All right, first card, Dottore. I'm hearing this is the healing that some of you have been waiting for, and that's what this is that's coming. Giovin Fanciulla, especially if it's something that you couldn't talk about, or you couldn't mention it, because this is somebody inexperienced, I'll just say. Sometimes it's the virgin. Sometimes this is like the return to the virgin state of maybe heal all things. Why not pray for that? She's pointing over there at the doctor, like somebody that will help her. I'm hearing for somebody, this is like getting past things they couldn't talk about. I heard very clearly suicidal tendencies for somebody. And so that's you. You're on the heal. Hey, Zoe. I'm so happy you're on the healing. That's it. Healing all things. And consolante sorpresa. So that's what we needed to hear. This is going to be a healing situation, especially if you find out somebody's been like fancying you, they found you attractive, maybe the right kind of peacocky, the right kind of protected or protective. And we see something healing happening here that, maybe she couldn't really talk about it before, but look what she's pointing at. right? And then awesome, it's the surprise coming in. So I feel really nice about that, because it's like, if you're going to be open, you want to know it's going to be a healing situation. Then maybe you have somebody that's willing to meet you more than halfway, because this person didn't get up out of bed. It's like the doctor made a house call, you know? And then that might be what's unexpected. It's like somebody that was on their way that maybe didn't know what to do. I'm hearing it might be a time difference thing too. They're showing me 7 here. 4 and 3 is 7. And then 12, it's like being on the wrong side of the timetables is what I'm hearing. So for some of y'all, you're going to be surprised what happens. It's going to be wonderful. Citrine, good stone for you right now. It's nice and lucky. You might want to look it up and maybe pop one in your pocket. So I'm hearing that'll be helpful. All right, I'm going to put those over here. Let me know what you thought about that. That was deck number 1. And now, I was going to go to petrified wood next, but I'm hearing no. The guides say we have to go to the shell next. We're doing the shell now, and then we'll do the petrified wood last. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm listening to what the guides say. And this little monkey over here. Do you hear her licking? If you hear her licking, I'm really sorry. It bothers me too, but she has like a nervous thing where she's like... Let's see here. Love it. It just bites. And thank you for all those hearts. Send them around. That's healing for everybody. And we got a shell there. Mari's excited about that one. And Zoe, I'm so happy that it resonated. Bless you, little one. All right. So now, if you chose... She's all right. Okay, good. If you hear it, I'm sorry. Let me know if you start hearing it. I'll try to move her, but she was freaking out and just like screaming earlier and just trying to keep her relaxed. This is the shell. It's really lovely. So if you chose the shell, these are for you. All right. Starting with the shadowscapes. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Shell people. Da, 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 da. That's the judgment card right there. Number 20. Can you see that well? Nice and slow for you. Get that gown. She reminds me of Sailor Moon. Of course I'm going to see that. Sailor Moon's like my dream wife in like pixel format cartoon, but here she looks like the Judgment. If you've ever seen it, it's very... It looks similar to me, like when a Queen Neo Serenity jumps out. That's what that looks like. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like, I see it like that. It's like a crowning moment that's happening for some of y'all. Judgment's going to show up for different reasons. For some of you all, it's just the end. And you know that something had to happen, and it doesn't matter how much they come back. There's nothing that they could actually exchange with you to make up for whatever you had to change with them. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's extremely personal. So I'm hearing whatever it is, just know it's okay, because, yeah, look at this. It's like, even if they're doing it the right way, I'm hearing some of them just can't come up, and you're not going to deal with that because you've got all these roses and flowers coming up, and then look at all these people. It's almost like they're in your custody and they're submitting something to you. It's not that they're just submitting to you. It's something that they're submitting to you. It's like being given charge over things, being given dominion of, and reporting that and receiving more. It's like, but as you're doing it, these fertile things are happening, and it's all yellow. You see, it's like yellow and a little bit of orange. So these are things that are going to help you heal your self-image. It's like how you jump out. Why I was seeing that thing with, like, I don't know if you've seen Sailor Moon and you know anything about the story. It's an anime, and some people do manga and like fan art and stuff. It's a cartoon where she is like a guardian, and when she finally starts to see herself better from like her future vision, she jumps out and she's like the special queen that helps save the children, and everybody felt comfortable in her care. And it's kind of like, for me, what's happening here. It's exactly what it looks like. And so for some of you all, this is like getting in touch with wherever the tough healing was, especially if you had to shut some things off, because I'm hearing for some people, it's like they might have taken it the wrong kind of personal from you, because it was personal. And it's like you had to shut certain things off so that other things could be safe and so that they could grow. And for some of you, you might have had some challenges with that, especially if you're very like a nice person that's also sometimes non-confrontational. But it's like you're going to be faced with a moment here where you see, bless you, that all these things have actually started to reflect around you. It's like the changing of fall leaves, sort of. Except things aren't dying, they're coming to life. So remember, we're training weather. We didn't fall for the shit. It's a different way to spring into sweaters. How about that? It's major arcana. So for some of you all, this is a big cycle. I'm hearing it's like 2 big cycles that come together for some of you all. Let's see here. Mari says, that's nice. We have wild cosmos flowers blooming everywhere here. That's awesome. I would love to see pictures. Take pictures. Share pictures in the chat. Share pictures in the chat. Yes, and for those of you that didn't know, there's a link below for our Very Fine Martians chat group. Also broadcasting the sound live in there right now for anybody that doesn't jump onto YouTube that wants to hear the radio podcast version. We're now offering that in the Discord chat. So, next up, what do we need to know? I'm hearing somebody might get their packing papers, is what it is. And so you're going to know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It might be like happening 2 different ways. I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is like trying to figure out the best way to travel this time of year, especially if you're planning some kind of overseas or distance. I'm hearing it might be for a period of time, and that's maybe what the judgment is. It's like trying to figure out if your sponsorship will land or you could stay, because I'm hearing for somebody, this 2X is actually talking about through the month of February for some reason. I heard it very clearly. Okay, I'll go for a walk later and take a photo where there's a vacant lot full of them. That sounds awesome, Mari. I love that. Awesome. Okay, what do we have looking up at us here with the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck? So, focus, number 14, waxing gibbous 5. This is gorgeous. This is the butterfly effect of that ripple from that energy that you sent out when we were focusing and meditating before. And I said, hey, focus and meditate on these 3 things and make sure you pick the one that picks you. And look how that works. It's like knowing that what went into the sound well could come back at you and show you that your focus is on point. 14 is really big for me. That's a real big number. It's the 7-7 that opens up, where the water didn't get split or breached, and we just prove the unleavening, and where your butterfly effect is actually very well manifest, because this is actually technically my address. It's like 14707, and it's like the open and close book. And what I was telling you, some of you all are doing here, is quantizing your brains at 0 point for a judgment where you actually unleaven yourselves, and it's like you made the only fold in yourself that opens up where nothing else ever came in, because nothing was a permeable membrane to be tampered with. Why we get perfect health. So please know your focus and meditation is helping with that in all the ways. And that's what I'm sending into your 3rd eye right now. There's a peaceful transmission of energy, and it's so funny. It's like right on the G spot. It's like, gee, Zeus, is it snowing somewhere? Bless you, baby. I hear it's a torrential downpour, and we're not drowning in it. She knew how to levitate and focus herself in there. So it's like a special new way to see yourself as the genie in the bottle, and proving that you can manifest everything all at one time. It's like the grace of the goddess being unfolded within herself, and just having different ways she can stack herself in there. It's like your book of life, where you can peel yourself a new page and just look around. Maybe be a new leaf like a flower without having to wilt, and still have a will to do things. And what the judgment is, and where sounds like become safe, because we didn't fall for it all in the Tower of Babel. We learned about these things and grew ourselves from the inside and protected. And there it is again. It's like that protective halo around her too. And knowing that your butterfly has a ripple effect. Let's see here. I have loads of flowers bloom over my animals' graves and surround my little house. And it's a delight. Oh, it's a drought here. Well, that's interesting, Zoe. G is a hard spot. Yeah, it's a real hard spot. We land right on it here. It's very funny. I've had fun deconstructing what these things are. It's like, what are these things? Is there black matter where things land and we can actually see how they develop and form and care for them and not be bound by the dogmas and still have room for the dogdas. This is my dogda. She's the daughter that's a dog. She's my doctor. Okay. So focus is actually very good advice right now. And for those of you that know, I was seeing February on this, and what those 2 X's are is like that reminder for your 2 hours of meditation, my love, if you can. Bless you. It's a gift to yourself to do it, especially over the fortnight, those 2 strongs that were never weak, where we opened up the 7 and the 7 and didn't split our water for a breach. And instead, we just learned that sometimes we don't need to speak, and that it's that thing that you're focusing on, that you've called inside, that is being birthed new in the primordial depths of you, and what Scorpio is actually here to do, and why we had to wrap the magnets in there and even show you, hey, remember I was talking to you about not electrocuting in those bodies and being able to open up symmetrically, and what it is to uncrisscross these wires, the red and the blue. It's like D&C scrolls, and how do we do it so that we land right? Well, see, 2019 Q4, Borisov knew, and we landed in there, and you did one of these too, safe in the bubble, So focus, and 2 hours, please. Do your meditations, loves. I'm thinking of actually making a special one for me that I can put up for you all, that if you're interested in a guided meditation. Your Shih Tzu is 15 years old. Your son has a Shih Tzu that's 15 years old. Wow. That's a good age for a dog. My kitty boy, he just turned 16, and this one's turning 11. My babies. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about putting together a meditation. If any of you guys are interested in anything like that, let me know about feedback on that. I was thinking about doing another, like a private one, but maybe a special recording that I don't put on YouTube or maybe just unlisted, something for the group. I have some things that I do that might help with a psychic kinetic hack. Just need to put some time into it, but that's what I set up the recording studio to do here. So what do you do for your meditation? I do different things. That's a really good question. I'm in a dynamic meditation in my state. It's just how I've invoked myself. So I'm like a dynamic offering of my highest energy in a presence like this when I'm operating. And when I try to relax lately, mostly what I do is just tune in, and I listen to the sound of rain and thunderstorms. And sometimes I turn that off. And I also use some meditations with a clinical hypnotherapist who I love his work. His name is Steve G. Jones. And so I do that too. I love that card. Focusing can be hard for you. You're interested in meditation. Well, then, we can talk about doing that. I might put one together that we do maybe live. I'll see if we can figure something like that and maybe do private like this. I'll just make sure it's private for the group, where I'll take you through what the chakras were never severed into 7 packages for, and help you connect the go-around. There's chakras you probably haven't been introduced to, like your earth and your soul star chakras, and there's a special meditation that I do as the cosmic midwife to help birth that. Yeah, thanks for letting me take a pulse on that with you, especially, just taking a moment on this card here, because I think for the 7 here watching and being on the 14 here with the judgment, it's like opening and closing the book of life in front of me and what my actual physical address is. It's like what we created here and where. It's like getting a special 5 on it. So high 5 on that. And know that if you need to feel safe, there's a way that You're being quantized in this resonance in the safety house. Or none of you could ever be sold down the river. Or I'm going to be sending special light packages to each of you if you want them tonight to help with your focus and meditation. Because if that's something that you actually do aspire to do and be able to be more in your focus state, there are some things we can do. And I'm thinking about putting one together that has some binaural or like isochronic tones. I actually have some digital electronic music stuff here that I've been really putting some thought and consideration into what this next project was going to be, because I was working on some other things. But I think that would be helpful, because there are some frequencies, to get back to your question, Duchess Bites, that might help. Some of them that I would recommend right now, if I could recommend any, I'm recommending 528 and I'm hearing 714. If you look up those 2 hertz, 528 and 714, you might find some different meditations that you can listen to where it helps stimulate through the sound what you're doing. And some people are going to tell you, don't fall asleep, stay awake, and all this stuff. And I'm just going to say, do your best. Start with 20 minutes, and some of you might fall asleep. And that's going to be okay if you're in the psychic halo. And so we're going to put that up on Pure Intention. And later what I would like to do is get back to this too, because I think that we can actually do a meditation together where we can actually birth ourselves through those energies that will help you just feel more like you are getting something, you're receiving what you want out of that meditation. But I feel like what we're doing is going all the way around so that you know when you fall asleep, especially if you've been meditating and some of your higher essence energy is matriculating and you are being integrated into your form, that people, other practitioners that try to get close to you or that are reckless in how they grab, law of attraction, universe, take up the mind, nobody can see it stuff, doesn't get to grab you. Okay? So that's what's on these. And there's a special energy protection over all of us for having heard that. So, focus. And while you're doing it, know that it's a protection like that. And it's where it's safe to actually breathe the air that you drink when it's not split, and realizing that we're actually in the halo. Okay, what's going on for those of you that wanted the romantic look on this one? Because we've got a Tarot of Sexual Magic that I'm just ready to flip over here. And for those of you that are looking for the new start, this is where the judgment and the focus is. So if you've been trying to call in your lover, it's like this 14 is an even split on the water. I'm hearing this is water meeting its own level. And this is what water does. You pour it into any shape and it fills the vessel perfectly. And that's what 14 tells us here, what I was telling you about that open, and why judgment is also pure symmetry. We've got that 20, it's a 10 and 10, right? So it's like the perfect judgment day, yada yada. And it's a new start, actually, in love. And that's more than symbolic in that reading, if you ask me. This is your intention coming to prove it to you. Let me see if I can get that to show up better. That's the Ace of Chalices. And they're in love. Give us a better view on that, please. Come on, Logitech. These really nice cameras here, and there we go. See that star right there on the top of her head coming off of her fontanelle? Ace of Chalices, she's got a star, but it's like right here. It's like whatever comes out of the fontanelle, like where you would dip the pen, but what doesn't happen, it's like where the energy comes through that little soft spot in your head. That's what we're looking at here. Let's see here, that just says, that's okay, I'm an artist. Is that considered meditating when I do art? Absolutely. You know, when you're in your meditative state with your art, and that's sometimes a dynamic meditation. Great way to put that, Duchess Bites. So Isha says, that sounds great. Awesome, we're in on that idea. Duchess Bites is in on that idea. Duchess, I would like I would look at when you're painting as a meditation style for you. Absolutely. Meditation is something I would like to learn, really need to learn. Okay, Angelique, this is good. So you guys are interested in that. I'm definitely going to work on something here for you. I'll put some time just for that. I've been listening to Jason Stevenson meditation music before bed. Yes, I see him all the time here on YouTube. All right, he's got some really cool art that he has, like his GIFs and stuff. Meditative Minds. I love Dr. Virtual 7. They've got some really neat energy hack stuff on there too. Let's see here. Oh, and Kikaz. I love Kikaz. He's one of my favorite. Zoe says, I felt that when you sprayed, Rev. I'm very happy to hear that. I put a lot of energy into how I make these. I actually make these myself. I make them for my clients sometimes. It depends on what they need, but you can buy stuff like that. I'm very intentional, and so I make a lot of things myself just from scratch, but I'm glad that you can feel it. That was sent out for safety, and know that that access point is made symmetrical here too. This is all about calling in perfect symmetry. And it's showing us here because 14 here breaking down perfectly so that we can like live and breathe and still drink the water and not be electrocuted, and the grand awakening of kinetic energy and form where we realize we're all learning to walk on water and being safe. First is the flowers, that were never rated that way for that G-spot thing, and what a shell knows about mermaids, and why new love is here. For some of you all, it's like how to call in that perfect partner. And it's showing you right there. It's like the fontanelle of her head. Whatever she wrote with there, whatever you wrote with here, while you were doing this meditation here, and how it was the thing that you spoke, and how these things just kind of grow up from there. And wow, were you looking for a man that could stack up like that? That might be pretty awesome, right? So for some of you all, that's exactly what this is about. And you're going to know if that's how you want it. That's romantic love right there for somebody. You know, if you want the romantic love, it's there. The Ace of Chalices. This could be somebody with a sun, moon, or rising and one of the water tribes. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But for some of you all, this might even be like a new work project, a creative project, something that you really get into. Dynamic meditation. Duchess Bites, this could be you focusing on a lot of those things too, you know? It could be more than one love. It's a new stroke on that. My new love is me learning to love me. How much I love that. I think that's perfect. I think that is the best way to do that. The best way to be that. Something maybe that you didn't think that you were going to be good at right now is going to be so much fun, Zoe. Especially if you take a little piece and just like, know that you can't suck at anything. Just know you cannot suck. It's like you're just baby stepping your way through it, and just fall in love with a little something. It's going to be fun. For me, like when I was going through some of that too, I was just like reclaiming different parts of my voice. Like I love to be able to hit really high notes. And so I was like, I'm going to be a tenor. I'm going to learn how to sing tenor one. And so it's like, you know, that's been a fun thing, is learning how to hit like upper register notes as a guy. It's like kind of crazy to do. And that's one of mine. So I'm just sharing that with you. I don't know what it is for you, but an art, especially when you're going through a Mercury retrograde and you know you're healing, it's like, it's fun. Just carve out the time and say, that's my meditation. There's a different way you can do that. You know, turn on your brain and know that as integrated beings, people have dogmas that sometimes they'll tell you, don't do that with your meditation. That's not proper. Well, we're living here, you know, and some of us learn how to articulate ourselves and also be in that state of meditation. And sometimes when you're stacking those energies, especially when we're highly kinetic and we have Mercury retrograde, it's like all those metal particles that are coming around us are fusing with us. We're part computer. What does that mean? Oh, I did the math and I said those are my particles. I actually want that to happen in my life, and it landed and there was metal involved. Okay, sign me up that way. You know, I got a big magnet for that, my love. It's called Your Love is Calling It to You. And it's new. So, go you. Alright, what about some Sabilas on that? I'm a trying. I like it, Zoe. I like it. Just know you're doing it. You know, just know you're doing it. Just be it. Just know you're being it. Alright? So, how about a few Sabilas? What is that thing that Yoda says? I don't really watch all that Star Trek and Star Wars or whatever. Do or do not. There is no try. That's what it was. I remember that one. I'm not gonna throw a dogma at you, but just know, just give it a try. It's just kind of doing it, and then you did it. So, you know what I mean? You don't have to try so hard. You know what I mean? You can like talk your way out of having to try too hard, especially if you think you might suck at it, and then that way, there's no way to like suck at it. It's just you're just doing it. Go you. That's right. Judgment on the XX. Be fire on that. All right. So, what can we know about this? What can we know about it? We got judgment. We got focus. And we got this love over here. Ace of Chalices. As de Copas. And I hear it's that one right there. Chop. 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 Yes, there is no try. You either do or do not. Do Jesus and Yoda say that? There you go. Thanks for letting us know. All right, so, oh wow, all right. So. What are we looking at here? This number one of my diamonds cards. That's a stanza. Stanza is actually alone. That's an alone card. But you see there's two chairs that are really close to each other. And it's almost like there are two people there talking. They have a private conversation. Where did they go? They might have moved somewhere else in the room. Sometimes this is a card of intimacy, depending on what's going on here. So for some of you all, this is a very special way to be alone with somebody and to be in love. Especially when you've met your match in that focus where water has met its own level. Because someone responded to the call. Just because you heard it doesn't mean you did anything about it. This is where self-responsibility is everything, and the effects of being your own art of love, perhaps. Because that's what this is to me here. This reading here, showing that we've got this alone. And for some of you all, means that it's intimate time. For others, this might be heralding different things. For some of you, you only have this because of what you turned your back on. In other cases, it's like, what might it turn its back on you? This 13 here is also a diamonds card. So these are kind of sometimes talking about money and what did you trade for that alone time, and what kind of alone time is it? You know? It's this one here. He's not always in the best mood because, you see, he's like waiting for something. That says mercante. So businessman, business owner, priorities. And sometimes it's like, I need to get back to my private alone time, right? Depends on what you got going on. I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like that return. Look, La Reunion showing up. That is one of my fire cards. That's a number 8. And that's somebody that went the distance. Sometimes this is like the return of somebody that you haven't seen in a while. And I'm hearing that 4 there. It's a 60, La Reunion, 4. Here for some of you all, it's like, it might have been 4 years. Maybe it's 4 months. But for some of you all, this is actually a return of somebody. And if you look at it this way, it's like, that could be a 4, 13. And then we're like doubling numbers here, and that's what the 8 is here. It's like the double door. It's like a cycle of how something comes back. So I'm hearing this could be about a person like coming in to visit from overseas for somebody. It doesn't have to be overseas, but they're showing me this in Metacanta. A lot of times it's like they're waiting for something that hasn't shown up, and it's because it's coming a long way. It's not all the time, but a lot of times this is like an overseas thing. And I'm hearing it too. It's like somebody's sending a long distance message here. Could be like your 5D essence for some of y'all that are doing that, but for some of y'all, this is a real long distance relationship. I'm hearing like 4 to 5 years for some of y'all. There's that 14, could be a 5, but there's water there again. So keep that in mind. And then we have La Costanza. So, all right. This is one of the Cups cards. This is a little bit more of one of the emotional cards sometimes. This is somebody that's had to live through whatever wrecked their world. And so, let's see here. I was thinking about someone I haven't seen for a few years. Really, Mari? Yeah, let's see here. And so he says he came and I said, go away. Yeah, and you're going to know if it's like the one that you want there or not. For some of y'all, you know, it might not be the return that you want. You know, and that might, you know, might not be for you. Maybe that's why this La Costanza is showing up here. It's the woman standing upright and being like, well, this fool came back trying to pitch me something, and you know, I see those 2 twin towers over there, and just I'm leaving the, you know, your city is lying dust. I'm gonna listen to Susie and the Banshees instead, my friend. Oh, right? But yeah, this woman here, La Costanza, this is constancy. This is somebody who learned how to hold herself together, especially if her world got shot to hell like that. It's like somebody went after her crown, is what I'm hearing. And not that you were like trying to be like, I'm the queen or anything like that, but it's like, you know, the crown, the top of your head. Somebody went for that. Sometimes it's like somebody that had to survive psychological abuse. And why it's cups. Cups, this is like a hearts card. So, Mari says it would be nice to see them again. Well, you know what? They might be thinking the same thing too, Mari. In some cases, it's like, you know, the shared focus is going to just land you in a place where you might have an opportunity to revisit what that meant to both of you. These are very symmetrical. It's like, you know, the 10-2, it's like I got a 10 here, and then this is like a 5. It's like everything is like open and closing book. I'm just hearing this is about completion. So I have confidence in this reading here, this one specifically too, especially with judgment here, that whatever it is that you've called into your life, called into order here, it's returning to you. It has to be even. It's an even measure. And that I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like the one that enters that room right there isn't going to feel lonely here, is what I'm hearing. Sometimes I've seen this be alone, just like a lonely person, just depending on what's around. But here I'm hearing this is like intimacy. And sometimes it's just like that awareness. And that, you know, the way that you found to hold yourself like consistently like that is actually something honorable. So, good thing to know on that. Hope that was helpful on that one for you all. Capricorn, Toxic X. Oh yeah. Capricorn, huh? I know all about my Capricorns. This is a Capricorn here. Mom's a Capricorn, and I have like weird Mercury-Mars placements in Capricorn. Those are very strong-willed beings. Check on that. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else we have here. I'm going to move on because we have one more pile left. For anybody who chose the petrified wood, got this nice triangle. It's a closer look here. I don't know if you can see that too well, but some of it's a little translucent. It's a really cool piece. But if you chose that one, these are your cards. All right, starting with your Shadowscapes. Oh my, another major arcana. Wow. So far, we had a Queen of Cups that showed up for our citrine. We had a Judgment for our shell. And now we've got another major showing up. So for everyone here, no matter which pile you chose, these are really significant energies. These are the kind of energies that prove how and why we change versus like situational stuff that maybe we experience, but that we are more in control of changing. These are the things that really give us milestones, like huge milestones, landmarkers in our life. I had a toxic ex in my past. It took a long time to heal. He was ex-military, so I know what it's like to be psychologically bashed. That's a lot, Mari. Things like that, too, you know. That's the somatic stress that I was talking about, where sometimes it's a different kind of trauma that gets stored in the cells, and where sometimes it's helpful to have different exercises that we can do, sometimes even physically, to help release that. I had bad dreams, though, where he's in my dreams and I want a divorce. Yeah, well, that's a really good thing to do some energetic cuts with, and just know that those are in the prayers right now. And how about a little extra smudge on that? How don't we double down? I've got two of these here. We'll do them both. Gonna go Red Dead with no redemption and blue bottles. So we'll consider that the divorce. No funny business. Okay. It's been about 4 weeks since I've spoken to my love, Duchess says. I know he will come back. I also know this. It was about me growing and gaining control over my emotions and working on my stability. That's a big time. And to find true self again. Absolutely. Well, we're praying over that. And just know, I mean, temperance is... This is a card about finding balance and stability, and for some people it's like learning how to be when the last thing you wanted was more patience. This is, I'm hearing, I mean, it can sometimes be a Sagittarius. We are about to enter into Sagittarius season. So for some of you all, this is like where we're going to be coming out of Mercury retrograde too, so it might be speaking to timing. And again, there's a 14 right there. So 14 might be a number for you. This is somebody that grew themselves through a situation, and so it's like a special way to be out on a limb. And I'm hearing if you can do that without burning yourself or other people, that's an amazing thing. Whatever she's been galvanizing with, drawing those two energies together, it's very magical. Alchemical process, and it's like a yin yang, and she's holding it. It's like, well, what you've learned to give birth to in a rather unusual way in some cases, and you might be dealing with Sagittarian tendencies or people. Let's see what else we can find out. We've got a little bit going on there. It's like, I don't know how well you could see what was up here over her head, but it's like these beasts. They look like dragons and birds, all kind of like meshed together. And here they just turn into this one ball of energy. And I think this is also speaking to what I was explaining to those of you that are getting interested in the astrological talk about this, where we're realizing that cosmos and energy have just come in, and that we can actually see on a 2D level where these energies are, and it's like it becomes a squishy new glue that we can add our ideas to and build new things. And it's kind of like not being stuck to these old ideas that gave broken constructs. We're avatars and archetypes and form now, and so you see it's where those beings are there. It's kind of like fire that's being made into a different form, or vice versa. It's like, what is she concentrating on there? What is she holding? That yin yang there? And look how it is either being released to go do her bidding, perhaps, while she's there meditating. So for some of you all, it's learning how to have that kind of patience too, where some of the things that you want to go and do that you might be feeling externally driven to go and pursue, you might find that in your 2 hours of meditation time, you're drawing it more effectively by just going out on a limb that way. See here, your eldest son is a Sag. Wow, so his birthday is coming up. So this could have to deal with that here too. Maybe it's like figuring out what you can also present with him, because there's another party here too, Mari. You see that? Like that little being there looking up at the woman. Maybe she's about to give him a gift. Maybe that's what's in her hands. Maybe it's something she made herself. Let's see what we can find out from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Oh my, so there's a 10. So we're talking about that opening again, and here's the discernment. Wow, she's actually holding energy like this, kind of like what she's holding here. Look at this, a woman whose head is in the clouds. Maybe Neptune reverses. Good, we have a new tune, and you know how mighty that pen is, and you know the fontanelle of the head and the third eye as a witness for alchemical response and discernment, and how we create with that energy there as a focal point. What a way to have your head in the clouds. You know? You are the cosmos. Waxing Jibus. Number 1, discernment. So whatever it is that you're learning, I'm hearing some of this might be like opening up 2 parts of your brain like this too, and that's sort of like seeing what your creative substance is, and why on this temperance here she's holding that. It's like the yin and yang. It's the blue and the yellow. Doesn't that make green? Is she for green? Is she looking for a green something? Exploring your brain and your creativity that way, right? And where all that stuff went up here, right to her head, right to the clouds. Pooh, cosmos. Your big bang, love. What are you focusing on? Is it balancing your sense of self? Why she's right over her solar plexus, right here. It's a good place to be. That's where she is here too. Out on a limb like that. Some of you need to say something, and it's like you're learning how to contain it first, and then how you create a certain feedback loop for yourself is what I'm hearing, where you can see that something's come around enough for you to want to even say something. Because here, these are people not talking. This is like nonverbal communication. This is witnessing all the ways you changed and became really magic. And thank you for meditating with me under the Kazemi moon, because this is right. Yeah, you're dancing in that right now, Zoe. That's right. This is good tempo for you here. Definitely agree. All right, let's see what we got here with our Tarot of Sexual Magic. Oh my goodness. Well, so it's kind of a crazy image here, so I will just tell you. I mean, I don't even know who would want to do it that way, but whatever. I mean, okay. It's art. The Knight of Wands shows up. Sometimes he's a really fast thing. It could be a Aries, Leo, Sag. I say he lightly, she, they, other. But they're on a horse. It's like really dry grass. It's hot. And something's going on there that it's kind of crazy. Oh, hi there. We've got Imai Sag and Ameluchka Sai. Hi from France. Nice to have you here, darling. Welcome to the chat. It's good to have you. Can't believe the patience I've had. I can't believe the patience we've had either, darling. And I can't believe anybody would ever want to do that on a horse like that, but whatever. It's a crazy deck of cards. It is really hilarious, but you know, that's what we drew. So for some of you all, it's kind of like somebody might come to you with one of these I'm here for it, lady moments with you. I don't know. And maybe it's like that little creature there too, like going out on a limb and trying to like come to this like magical goddess, and she's like, okay, you're trying my patience. No, I'm not getting on the horse with you like that. And like knowing how to have discernment, because for some of you all, this is like cheesy something that might be coming your way, and you might just be like, I'm seeing the bitch, please, you know? For others, it's like, because I mean, this is temperance and this is discernment. For others, though, this might be what you want. Maybe you're deciding, and I'm hearing if it's a person like a balanced Sagittarian that's coming your way here, and you know, and the Knight of Wands, they're like that. Maybe it's like their energy. Maybe they're like an Aries Sag combo, is what I'm hearing. Maybe not. I don't know, but I heard that Aries Sag combo. Especially if they have something Scorpio in their chart. I'm hearing if that's the case, this is a different kind of like smoldering hot energy that you have together. And I hear it might not get sexual at all, but it's like you hold that energy together. And I hear you might like be tempted, but it's almost like you're trying to figure out if it will stifle you or not. That's what I'm hearing for something that's very specific. Do my man will come back. Hi, I'm Anushka. It sounds like you have some questions. We're actually finishing up our pick 3. I did 3 different readings here with 3 different, we've got a stone, a shell, and this piece of petrified wood. You might want to watch these from the beginning first and see if some of these messages are for you. And if you're interested in a private reading, we can talk about that privately. I have my information listed below for that. Okay? What do my darlings need to know? What do our petrified wood pickers need to know about the temperance discernment Knight of Wands situation? What's going on here? Because for some of you all, this is actually somebody returning from the past too. I should mention that. Sometimes it's like somebody that came up from behind, but I'm hearing that you're going to know whether or not you want this one there. If this is the one where it's like, if you're within the framework of 4, is what I heard, you're going to get along well with this person. But if it's not within the framework of 4, I don't even know what that means. It's just something that I heard. Then it's not going to go well. This is weird. So I just opened this, and somebody's recovering, and it's like love upside down here, amore. I'm hearing somebody might get shot down, is what this is. And so you're going to know if that's the case. And let's see what we got here. That card looks like where my head used to be. Oh, wait, which one? This the discernment up in the clouds like that? Yeah. She's got the light of the sun with her, though. So, Zoe, even if you're doing that, honey, I know that sometimes those things are sticky and it sucks. I'm not going to say but. I'm going to say and. They also help you know where your light source is. Yeah, Cupid's arrow missed on that one big time. It was upside down. I don't know. I had some of, it's in line. I'll just say it's in line. So here, this is where I got stopped here. Viaggio. Someone might be coming in from a distance, especially if you've been away from each other. That's a 3, and that's a fire card. So for some of you all, that's going to have something to do with the situation. Maybe 3 holds significance. It could be days, weeks, months, years sometimes. But with Sabilas, this is usually a little fresher. So hearing for some of y'all, look, and this is somebody on the horse too coming in. And that's also fire, just like this Knight of Wands. What do we got? Conversazione. Well, somebody wants to have a talk. So I'm hearing if this was long distance too, somebody's trying to come in. They figured something out. I'm hearing they figured something out. And for some people, it might just be because they just see how much balance you appear to have. Or it's like, kind of got a fire under their ass. Maybe Cupid was spot on, Mari. Maybe he was not right for you. If you hang on to the past love that didn't work, you're not allowing new love in. That's right. Okay, here's the note. So, that's a 2. That's handwritten, la lettera. Doesn't mean it's gonna come to you handwritten. Sometimes this is just something being sent your way. I've seen these be text messages before. I've seen these being like packages people send in the mail. But here with La Conversazione and this person at a distance, I'm hearing that it's like, I'm hearing it could be a Skype chat for somebody, actually. I don't know why I'm seeing that. It looks busy. It's like if this person might be in a busy home where they're either living with their family or like in a shared, like a roommate situation or house situation. But that right there is a letter being sent. And I'm hearing it's like if they don't actually send like a letter to you, it could be an email, but I'm hearing that it's like a Skype chat where it's like one of these people could potentially like walk by while the person's on the camera talking to you, and it might be about a trip. Let's see here. How romantic, but I would get hair on my bum. What? Oh, you're talking about this? Yeah. Oh. I don't know, man. I wouldn't. I can't. I mean, it's too weird for me with the horse there, okay? Just put it that way. I'm like the guy that's like, no animals in the room, please. Not for that. You know, it's a little different in the recording studio. I'm here doing some work, but, you know, some stuff like this, I just can't imagine being on like a horse like that with anybody. It's so weird. All right. See, discernment, right? For me, it's just a no, but I hear you, Zoe. I hear you. So I'm hearing for somebody, this is Skype chat. This is a Skype chat. This is something that had to be done overseas. This person might be feeling emotional about how they want to start. They might have had to reach out to somebody for help about what to even do and guide it, especially if it's like, there might be a money situation that was looming over this, is what I'm hearing. And it might have to do with how badly they want to take a trip or like come and see you. And they might be like, I'm your hunk of burning love. Whoa. And so here it is. Well, Duchess is afraid of heights, and Zoe says, I have horses. Wow. Maybe you know more about those situations than I do. For me, they would go more like this. This 7 here with the P. This is a spades card. This is how things get cut. I'm hearing it's like, disgrazia. So, disgrazia is a house fire. This is a house where if there was a bridge to get out of that house, it's burned too. See that? It's like even if the people wanted to get out, it's like falling out. It's like a serious issue. Hearing for somebody, it's like, that might be the reason why somebody is traveling. It's like, I'm hearing that. For somebody, you might hear from somebody that's living in like a hotel room or like, I don't know what this is. It's like a hotel room or a hostel. I'm hearing it's like some kind of shared place, but the reason why is whatever happened to their house. And it doesn't have to have been a storm, but there's storms going on right now. There's fires a lot of places. And it is Mercury retro fucked. And so, you know, sometimes we just get retro fucked during this time. And there's the hat. Mercury, it's retro season. So what happened? I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, oof, especially if they weren't in the safe 4 is what I'm hearing. It's like they weren't in the fort with you. They might have been ousted in some kind of way, because I heard somebody really might be dismissing somebody or like getting rejected for this one, whatever this is. So conversation somebody wants to have, and this could even be an ex like wanting to come in and like swoop in and play like, hi, I'm here again. But I'm hearing if that's the case, if this was a cheating situation, because for some of you all, that's what the 3 is for. And what this 3 is for here, and it's like how and why you decided to fire them is because of whatever you found out happened 3 times. Oh, this one was just sliding under the bottom there. All right, there's another 7 here. This is Literato showing up. And this is somebody that is learned. This is like sometimes a really brilliant person that has studied from probably all those books there. You might have written some of them too. And the red pants tell you something. They actually really went to work. They might have been doing things for material needs. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like they might have been spying. They're talking to me about somebody that, wow. I'm hearing about remote viewing, and what this discernment is here. It's like how somebody might have been remote viewing on a situation. Because this one just flew out. This one wasn't like this other stuff. It's kind of like another side note. I'm hearing for somebody, it's like you might have been psyoped by somebody that was like, might have like special. This is why I even got into doing this stuff. It's seeing into situations where people aren't, and especially on like a 5D, and where you can get into rooms, and there were people that needed special apparatus to like suit up and to get in and like reach on people, and some of these people are psyops, and I've actually seen this guy show up like that when he slides out in situations where discernment and judgment might show up along with something like disgrazia, and why they might have been trying to look. And so I'm hearing for some of you all, you could hear different things from people coming in from the past, but I'm hearing for some of you all, this might be one to watch out for, just in case. So know that, and in that case, especially if they're coming forward, that might be the one that you are rejecting. But I'm hearing for others of you, the one that comes in wearing not only their heart on their sleeve, but the one that's willing to actually get up and walk the distance that love would require. That's like what love would actually do, how they show up like that. For that one, I'm hearing it's like, it might be a tough call if it's been years, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing if it's been like 2 to 3 years for some of you all, especially if you had like a situation where you didn't know if somebody was stringing you along. You know, it's gonna challenge you. And your discernment's going to be really good this time because of whatever you learned how to do for your green, how you learn to balance whatever fire you might have in your chart or not, maybe fire people around you, because this is a long cycle that happened. And for some of you all, I mean, this is like 10 years coming to look you back in the face. And it might not be from other people so much, but like 10 years of you just like coming together like this. And so watch out, because this is a turnaround that somebody that does want to show up. For some of you all, you just need a vacation, and that might be what Viaggio is. It's like, yeah, over the next 3 strongs, because I'm not going to be weak. No 3 weeks. Give me 3 strongs and send me somewhere where the one that's going to walk up to me in love, you know, might be there. Some of y'all need that kind of vacation. But for others, it's like getting an opportunity to find out how and why these situations unfolded, why somebody might be like tapping to try to come back and talk to you, especially if it's like hearing like a family situation or a home situation that might not have worked out so well. So keep it in mind. Hopefully that was helpful. A lot of messages showing up here, my loves. I'm gonna go ahead and get us on sideways view, and let's see here. I'm gonna move some of these cards, and I think I might be done. I don't know. You guys have any questions? How'd those go for you? Let me know what you think. And if you're new to this channel, thank you for being here. If you would like your own private reading, my information is below. We can do them with just your personal information and get really specific. And if you like, that is my new Discord chat, where we're actually feeding the sound from this in our live podcast room for live radio, and we also have a chat and share cards and things together. So feel free to join there. If you liked it, really appreciate your thumbs up. It's like a big hug for me, and I appreciate you so much. And I want to send you my love. And just know I'll be back soon. We'll be coming back shortly. We actually have a full moon that is going to be middle of next strong. So I'm not really sure when I'm going to be doing this. Maybe over the next couple of days. And I'm going to be sorting out some things for that idea to come together and shoot out some times where we might get into a dynamic small meditation with the fold and prove what the unleavening is and the sound chamber of the octaves, the safe room for us to have peaceful naps and beautiful expansions where we get the will without the wilt. Let's see. Where is it? I resonated with all of them. Well, awesome. I'm really glad to hear that, Duchess Bites. Thank you for letting me know that. And I'm glad that you're getting to your horses there, Zoe. And I'm so happy that I know a little bit about you. Scorpio, Sag Rising, Cappy Moon, and I feel like Mari might be interested in riding some horses. Hey, you two. Are you anywhere near each other? I don't know. Because I've got all my AUs. I got a lot of Aussies up in here. I love my Aussie girls. Y'all are wonderful. Queensland has loads of fires and there's smoke everywhere. I'm praying for that. Nobody gets to slander the queen like that. For the gold down under. Way to protect your horses and your responsibilities there, sister. I'm sending you love. Central Coast, huh? I don't know that area. I'm gonna have to go out there sometime. I've never been, but as many of you as I have shining out there in the gold place, I might have to come and visit sometime and just say hey. Go see that big banana and maybe that big Slurpee and the big gigantic prawn and all those photos you guys were sending me in the chat room. That was awesome. I loved it. Well, I'm praying for you. I know that the smoke is difficult. Please take your precautions. If you have an oil diffuser in your home, put some tea tree oil or something in it and diffuse and do things that you can do to clean the air as much as possible and keep some good energy to extract any of that you might be inhaling. Just a little tip on that, love. Be safe. All right, I love you very much. Have a wonderful day and a strong end, and we're going to be back again soon with some more, okay? Bye for now.
Promise that you'll catch me.